let's look at this tweet because it sparked up. If you're on Twitter, man, it sparked up quite a bit of controversy. So I'm gonna admit that I haven't looked at this. I've seen just the first one and I haven't looked since, but it's definitely sparked some controversy. So all right, here we go. Since Bungie made the claim that they can't afford to focus resources on making PvP slash Gambit maps for D2, I'm going to step you through a mathematical breakdown of how disingenuous and penny pinching Bungie is being here. All right, that's quite a statement if you ask me. All right. Bungie as a company has 1,552 total employees. I didn't realize they had that many employees. Wow. Obviously, not all of these are developers. Let's make the assumption that 800 of these employees are software developers, i.e., 51.5% of the total workforce. Okay, that's fair. They do have a lot, for sure. I mean, pretty crazy. I didn't realize how many people they had. Personally, I think that one new PvP map per season should be the goal. This would be my biggest armchair dev moment of the thread. But let's make the assumption that the team of 20 developers are dedicated to only D2 map making could crank out one PvP map per season. I mean, yeah, I don't see that being a problem, in my mind at least. But again, I don't work at Bungie. I don't really know. What does 20 devs mean in the context of Bungie as a company? Let's first look at the impact as a percentage of the Bungie's total staff of devs. 20 devs out of a total of 800 is a mere 2.5 of Bungie's developer workforce. How about what 20 dev means in cost to Bungie? Let's make the assumption that the average salary for these 20 devs is 150K per year. 20 devs plus 150K a year is 3 million per year. I mean, dude, you making 150K, man. That's fucking tight. Finally, let's put this in the context of what it means versus Bungie's value as a company. Last year, Sony purchased Bungie for 3.6 billion. That's a fucking capital B right there. A 3 million a year would cost to make one PvP map per season is minuscule 0.08% of the 3.6 billion. It's a very small purchase. It would take 1,200 years for those 20 developers to burn through all of said 3.6 billion. All while D2 continues to be in the tens of hundreds of millions of dollars in microtransactions revenue each year. Very true. I'm sure they make quite a bit. And the last tweet was, so when Bungie says that they don't have the resources to make PvP maps for T2, remember that corporate suits decided that a mere 2.5% of the studio devs and the 0.08% of the money from the Sony acquisition each year is too much to allocate for a core mode of the game. Now, if you go based off of those statistics, which he's just kind of going off on what he assumes, which he might not be too far off, he's definitely being lenient on it. But we also have to put in the Marathon and the Matter, which is the third game they're developing right now. We don't know how much of those resources those are taking. Obviously, a lot of the people that worked at Destiny are now working on Marathon, which is a bummer because, you'd like to see those people continue to work on Destiny, but it brings in the new blood, and there's a lot of people that are very passionate about the game. So, yeah, that's kind of a big thing. My whole thing is this. If Bungie took this 3.6 billion and is, let's say I don't know. This is and I'm just armchair dev guy, whatever moment or whatever as well, because I do know a little bit about the video game industry because I worked in it, but I wasn't a developer. I was just a quality assurance tester. So I only know so much about things. I will say that the games that I did work on had budgets and pretty fucking big budgets. Because they were very top games like game of the year edition type games or greatest hits type games. So I know that they poured in the money for these things. And, you know, it would always be an all hands on deck moment for testers. Like, oh, we need you on this shit today. Like, do it today. You gotta fucking do this. You gotta do that. Your goals are these. Get it done. And you're like, all right, cool. That's what you paid me for. Let me do my thing. So I do know that, you know, when you have things on top tier levels, you know, you put the most of everything into it, whether it's quality assurance testers, software developers, UI design, and things like that. You know, obviously promotion as well, and you know, getting ready to like create and press the disc. Because you know there's still discs out there. Also, you got to settle in with like, you know, contracts with like the companies. So like if you're like Activision, you know, you gotta go to Sony, you gotta go to Microsoft, you gotta go to Steam or Valve, and you gotta start. Hey, we need this, we need that. You know, what's it gonna cost us? We need to get this done now. And they're like, all right, here this. If you want to take this much of our space, you gotta do. Here's the layout, and this is what you gotta pay. And you're like, all right, bet here's some money. You know, that's kind of the gist of how a very basic scenario is to doing this. Um, as far as I like can recall and remember, I sat and I just tested. I heard things here and there. I did work with the programmer a lot on a couple games. Where like I worked very closely with this person, the guy, and then his counterpart, which is this girl who's very fucking talented. She was ridiculous at coding. I mean, like fucking ridiculous. She was actually the one that got me to go to school, because she's like, yeah, you should totally do it. You'll be really good at it. Like, because I was already like, oh, you this and this, and they're like, what? How'd you pick that up so quick? I was like, I don't know. It just reminded me of like when I made a MySpace profile. But anyways, I'm getting off the topic point. Let's say the 3.6 billion, 1 billion goes to each game, and obviously it doesn't. Right? This is all hypothetical. That's still quite a lot of money for them not to be able to make certain things that they say they can in the game. Now, what does this mean for us? Like, are they planning something bigger that we don't know? Which could be the case. It could be a bad case for the PvP community, the Gambit community. This is a very consistent thing we're seeing, right? We could see some maps come back, you know, that's cool, whatever. I'm sure some people will be happy, some people will be fucking mad, you know, it is what it is. But we are going into our final year of what is going to be this 10-year saga of Destiny. And with that, I'm wondering if PvE is such the big focus for them because it's closing out the saga that they want to put everything and all their resources into just a lot of PvE content. This is what I've been thinking. I feel, and this is just what I assume. I don't know fucking shit, so don't fucking quote me on this or nothing like that. But we are coming to our last year, which means after this year, we don't know what's going on. Maybe we'll find out at the showcase. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But that we're gonna find out when we see the Final Shape showcase what the deal is. Will they talk about the new saga already, or are they gonna push it to like, oh, next one's coming out in 2025? Who fucking knows? You know, we don't know yet. So we still got that to deal with. But my thought is that it's gonna be like Forsaken. We're gonna get a lot of PvE content that we didn't know was gonna pop up. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Like a random dungeon, like that kind of scenario. We're gonna get a lot of things probably coming back to the game. I would like to think when we kill the witness or destroy the witness or whatever we have to do to the witness to end the saga series and get everything taken care of. I think we're gonna get all the planets back. We're gonna get everything done, and I think it's gonna open up a lot of PVE things. Do I think it's gonna be enough to make sense for how much they're spending? I don't know, because we're not there yet. We don't know how many secrets they're gonna put in. We don't even know if there's gonna be a seasons after the final shape. Like what the scenario is, because technically, like after we kill the witness, it should be a done deal. So there should be a couple little things here and there just to kind of push the year, you know. But I think I think a lot of it is good. I think a lot of it is going to be more focused on PVE because they want to close it out right. And in order to do that, it doesn't happen with PvP and Gambit. So I can see them doing a ton of PvE stuff. Cool. I'm cool with it. I'm the PvE guy. That's what I do. That's what I'm here for. And yeah. PvP, I like it. It's fun. I play Iron fucking Banner all the time. That's when we actually like PvP. I do little trials here and there. I fucking hate it. But hey, I like Gambit. I am a Gambit. I'm a Gambit fan. I hate to fucking admit it sometimes. But I like Gambit. It's fun. It's a different sway of things sometimes. So it's nice. But that being said, I think we're gonna get a lot of PvE content. And a lot of that PvE content is gonna push to end the saga. And that's gonna allow us to basically just end the game in terms of the story and get prepared for the next saga, whatever, Destiny 3 or whatever they decide to do, right? That's what I'm assuming. Is it going to be worth all that money? I don't know. We'll see in the end. We never know. We're very kept out of the dark. We still don't even really know what the season is called, and that's 10 days away. But we'll find out soon enough. Either way, that's why I think they are focusing away from the PvP and the Gambit stuff, is because it doesn't fit the mold of like finishing the saga when they can just like make a bunch of maps for things in Destiny 3 or whatever they decide to call it. That's my personal opinion. I mean, you guys can think of whatever you want to think or however your assumptions are or whatever. Everybody has a different way of thinking about it. That's just how I see it. Either way, all I care about is that the story ends proper. I hope it ends proper. That's all I care about. That's all that matters to me. I want to end this year because I'm such a hardcore player. I came into Destiny year 2, but I did play all year 1 content because they didn't fucking sunset shit. I've never missed a year of Destiny of content. I've done every season. I've done everything you could think of under the sun that goes with Destiny. So I want to see it end right. I want to sit down and go, damn, those fucking 10 years are crazy. You know what I mean? Because, dude, it's really crazy to think about. Like, I'm getting pretty close to 40, man. Where I'm in my late 30s, so when I started this, I was in my 20s, man. It's pretty crazy to see like how long I've been playing this game and how devoted and how much I care about the game. And I wish I'd been making content prior to this, yeah, but it's not a big deal, I started when I started. It is what it is. So I guess let's watch this video just to react real quick. That's why we ended up fucking watching this thing. And let's see what this guy's opinion about Do not pre-order Destiny 2's Final Shape expansion. Let's see what he says.
So you're all probably aware that Bungie recently released their big State of the Game article, and yeah, it was pretty bad. It was that bad that it had so much negative feedback and hate all over social media, and despite that, Bungie will not give a proper response because the sad answer is they simply don't care. They don't care that the game is in a bad state, they don't care about PvP, they don't care if you stop playing. And they don't care because they know that regardless of how terrible this game can be sometimes, and how much of a bad state this game can get to, they just know that you are all going to buy the Final Shape expansion no matter what. They could restart the DCV, the Destiny Content Vault, and vault half of currently everything in the game, and sunset half of the best weapons in the game, and you know what? You'll probably still buy the Final Shape because that's just the way it is. The game goes into its worst state, exactly like Curse of Osiris, then they hype you up with potentially what looks like a lot of good content, exactly like the Forsaken expansion, and don't get me wrong, that expansion was amazing. They introduced Gambit, it was fun, it was different, they had all these amazing things in the game like Menagerie, and then in the end they end up either vaulting that content, making it unavailable despite it being some of the best content the game has ever had, or they just simply don't expand on it or improve certain parts, like Gambit, because they simply can't monetize it to earn more revenue. It's not that they don't have the resources to make new content, it's more that they don't want to use their resources to make new content that will earn them less income. Why make new Gambit and PvP maps, or new ritual armor sets freely available for everyone, when they could just make some new Eververse armor sets that people can buy in the Eververse store? It's kinda sad, but the real truth is that as long as Bungie has your money, and they have a somewhat stable player base population for major expansion releases, they aren't gonna make any major improvements, because to them at this point, it's classed as over delivery. I actually read a Reddit post the other day that stated we shouldn't pre-order the Final Shape just to get our point across to Bungie and let them panic when they see much lower sales than Lightfall, and although that could work to some degree of getting the point across, another user pointed out that everyone regardless is still gonna pre-order the Final Shape, and he's pretty much correct. I myself will buy the Final Shape, and you guys probably will too, even if a showcase later this month looks so bad, because let's face it, we're this far in and this close to the conclusion of the Light and Darkness story that we may as well just see to its end. Now for Bungie's sake and for the future of Destiny 2, I really hope they decide to delay the Final Shape, like they did with the Witch Queen, so that they have more time to make those improvements that the community wants despite resulting in a lower revenue gain, because if they really care about the game, they will make that delay and make those improvements. And guys, I know you all want to pre-order the Final Shape, I do too, but I'm gonna wait a while before I do, and I honestly think you should too. It probably won't make much of a difference, but if we all just sit here moaning and pre-order the Final Shape anyway, then we're just gonna repeat the same cycle with Lightfall. The game is dead, we get a big release, the game hits a record high, then right afterwards we're all moaning again. If we do nothing, don't expect anything to change. Only your pocket can determine the future of Destiny 2. Not Bungie, just you.
Yeah, I mean he's not wrong. It is easy for us to just say fuck it. We're just gonna buy it because we've been doing it for so long, man. Like, you know, we want to end the saga correctly, so I don't know. I don't buy expansions off the rip. I did plan on buying the Final Shape off the rip. But we'll see. Either way, I'm gonna play it. Like I said, it isn't somewhat of my job now, kind of, to play the game since I've been streaming it for so long. You know, I just want to keep the content rolling, and we're gonna go with it. But you know, like I said, we're always playing other games. We're always doing other things. I've never not played another thing. So yeah, that's my take on it. I mean, share your thoughts in the chat or wherever, you know, and let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there.